There is nothing particularly dramatic about waiting. No applause, no excitement. Sometimes nothing happens for years. And yet, one man built one of the greatest fortunes in history by doing exactly that. His name is Warren Buffett. Buffett kept doing something remarkably simple. He looked for good businesses. When he found the right opportunity, he was willing to wait. Warren Buffett was born on August 30, 1930, in Omaha. From an early age, Warren was fascinated by numbers, businesses, and the idea of making money. At just 11 years old, he made his first stock purchase. He bought shares of City Service Preferred. The stock fell soon after he bought it. Eventually, it recovered, and Buffett sold for a small profit. But then the stock continued climbing. For the young Warren, it was an early lesson. Making money was not simply about finding something cheap. Sometimes the hardest part was knowing when to wait. As a teenager, Buffett experimented constantly. He delivered newspapers. He sold products door to door. He found small businesses and investments that could generate income. By the time he was a teenager, investing and businesses were already becoming more than hobbies. They were becoming his way of thinking. After college, Buffett studied under the legendary investor Benjamin Graham at Columbia Business School. Graham thought a powerful idea. A stock was merely a number moving up and down on a screen. Behind every stock was an actual business, and the investor's job was to determine what that business was really worth. In 1956, Buffett returned to Omaha and began managing money for a small group of partners. He was not trying to predict every movement of the stock market. Instead, he searched for businesses or securities that appeared to be worth more than their market price. Then came a company that would change his life: Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway was originally a struggling textile company. Buffett began buying its shares in early 1960s. At first, he saw an opportunity to make money from the company's declining textile operations, but the investment became complicated. Eventually, Buffett gained control of Berkshire Hathaway, and years later, he would admit that buying Berkshire in the first place was a mistake. The textile business itself was not the great opportunity, but Buffett had control of the company, and instead of abandoning it, he transformed it: an investing company, an insurance company, and eventually a collection of extraordinary businesses. The mistake had become the foundation of an empire. But Buffett's transformation was not a one-man story. In 1959, he met another investor from Omaha. His name was Charlie Munger. Munger challenged Buffett's original approach to investment. Buffett had been heavily influenced by Benjamin Graham's idea of buying businesses cheaply. Munger pushed him towards something different. Instead of simply looking for cheap businesses, look for wonderful businesses at reasonable prices. That distinction changed Buffett's investment philosophy. And one of the clearest examples came in 1972. Berkshire Hathaway bought See's Candies. At first, the price seemed high compared with the company's tangible assets. But Buffett and Munger saw something the balance sheet could not fully capture. Customers loved the brand, they trusted the product, and the company could raise prices without destroying that loyalty. It helped demonstrate a principle that would become central to Berkshire's future. A great business can be worth far more than the physical things it owns. From there, Buffett's strategy became increasingly clear. He wanted businesses that could remain valuable for decades. He did not need hundreds of investments. He needed a relatively small number of exceptional opportunities. Berkshire accumulated businesses and investments across insurance, consumer products, railroads, energy, manufacturing, and other industries. And major investments in companies such as Coca-Cola demonstrated another side of Buffett's philosophy. He was not trying to own a stock for a few weeks. He was trying to own a piece of business for a very long time. That is where compounding became powerful. A return earned on money could itself guarantee another return. The process could look almost boring in the short term, but over decades, the results could become extraordinary. Warren Buffett began with something almost anyone could understand: read, learn, save, invest carefully, and wait. The world around him changed dramatically. Industries disappeared, new technologies emerged, markets crashed, markets recovered, businesses rose and fell. But he kept returning to the same fundamental principle. What is this business really worth? If he believed the answer was greater than the price, he was willing to wait. Sometimes the smartest move is simply to wait. Buffett's story is more than accumulating wealth. He committed to giving away the vast majority of his fortune. In 2010, he joined Bill Gates' foundation in creating the Giving Pledge, encouraging the world's wealthiest people to give most of their fortunes to philanthropy.